Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for coming back to the channel. We got another video for you guys to discuss today, and this has to do with Google Fi and its data calculation. So, without further ado, I've been putting Google Fi through a test over the past week, and by that, I'm testing to see how does Google Fi calculate your data usage. And if you don't know, there is, true unlimited prepaid plans you can get, and I would name those to be like Los Mobile and Visible. Even if it's considered deprioritization just slows you down for a moment of congestion. It doesn't really lower your speeds down for the remainder of your bill cycle. That's the difference between the two. And then there's unlimited metered data, which I consider Boost Mobile with the 35 gig cap and Google Fi with the 22 gig cap. Now, with the 22 gig cap, after you pass 22 gigabytes of high-speed data, you are slowed down for the remainder of the month. Of course, people argue that when they say, why did they put unlimited in there? It's false advertisement. You gotta look at the verbiage here. Verbiage plays for everything in court. And when they say unlimited data, it means that they're not turning off your data at all when you pass that limitation, or that limit. That's why they set a limitation, the agreement they have with T-Mobile to use T-Mobile's network. But they're not turning off your data, and so therefore your data is unlimited. But they're not telling you the verbiage is unlimited high-speed data, which is why when they do marketing advertisement like that, they get hit pretty hard, because then people go after them for that. But anyways, besides the point, Google Fi has a 22 gigabyte like high-speed data limitation. When you pass that, you're slowed down to 128 kilobits per second for the remainder of your bill cycle, or you can pay $10 per 1 gig of additional high-speed data. That's crazy. So, anyways, I wanted to know, how does Google Fi calculate your data? Because I started noticing this almost a month ago when I got the Boost Mobile, and Boost Mobile does calculate your data usage of the 35 gigs of high-speed data you're allotted every month. And I was noticing that the things I was doing on my Boost Mobile phone, and then when I look back to see data usage after the next day, it really wasn't much data growth in the calculation. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and I did upload a video to YouTube from it, and it's at a low amount. So I'm like, I'm not used to that because I've been using Google Fi for a long time, and when I do things, it eats up quite a bit of data. So I decided to run a test that took 2 days for me to do it, because I used the Boost Mobile line for one whole day, and I did specific things, and I jotted down what I did. That way, at the end of the day, when the data was calculated for that day, I would see what the calculation was, how much data I used. The next day, I used the Google Fi line only and did the exact same things. I timestamped everything that I've done, what video on YouTube that I watched, so I can go back and do the same thing with the Google Fi line. My findings is that it said that I had used more data with the Google Fi line than I did with the Boost Mobile line, and I'm just like left pondering how. So I decided to run one more test, and that's where I threw the Los Mobile line, which is fully unlimited, as a physical SIM on the Pixel 5, and then the Google Fi eSIM. And I had calls and texts for Google Fi, but the data was coming from Los Mobile or the AT&T line. So the Google Fi Mobile toggle switch was off, because the Pixel 5 could do DS for dual SIM, dual standby. You can't run both SIMs exactly at the same time. You can only do one or the other when it comes to data, actually. But it was weird, because while I was doing that, and I did a bunch of things all day, watching YouTube videos and uploading videos to YouTube using the AT&T connection, it still calculated data usage on the Google Fi line. Now, one would say it was RCS messaging, but really it wouldn't be RCS messaging, because in order for RCS messaging to work, if I have the Google Fi number and for call and text, the data also has to be Google Fi in order for RCS to work, or you have to be connected to Wi-Fi. If you have Google Fi for call and text, AT&T for data, then it only sends it as a regular text message. So it wouldn't be RCS messaging. So what were they calculating when Google Fi's data was turned off? What were they calculating? So that's some of the things that I noticed with Google Fi. One, it calculates data at a higher rate for tasks that other companies they don't even calculate your data at that high rate of usage. And 2, it continues to calculate data even when turned off. So this is something that I found with Googlefy, and I wanted to kind of point that out. I don't know why they're doing it or why it's happening, but I do want to let people know that if you've seen the same thing with Googlefy, trust me, you're not crazy. There is something going up with Googlefy as to why it's calculating a high usage rate for things that with other carriers, you check your data usage on that and it's much lower. I don't know. It's not looking good for Fi. So if you have Googlefy and you're seeing the same things, let me know in the comment section of the video. If you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this video and found it informative, please smash that like button. It really helps out. And that's it for right now. Thanks for watching this video. As always, aloha.